Well, howdy everyone. Welcome to Guitar Control. My name is Robert. I've been gone for a while. I'm back with some new lessons. And I hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Now, we were talking about writing a rock and roll riff, the best kind of music ever. And if you guys want tabs for what I'm about to talk about, those are down below. And I have a question for you. What is your favorite, let's do top 3 favorite rock and roll riffs. Top 3, baby! So let's go ahead and get going. Okay, so we are going to be talking about quite a few different things. One is a scale that I'm going to be pulling notes out of, and lots of other kind of like general areas of writing riffs. So one of the big things to learn about writing a rock riff is it's okay to have quote unquote, you know, a bad note in there, a note that kind of rubs the wrong way, that it sounds a little bit rough. I mean, you can have like a riff that's like something like that, you know, and you can make it work, because rock is a very open style of music. And what I'm saying is, you can incorporate so many other genres into it. You know, like if you're kind of like doing a jazz thing, you know, you can't suddenly like all of a sudden just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna do this, you know, this. Like there's kind of more of a structure to it. So, you know, that's the first thing, is to understand that, you know, you don't have to always be by the book, you know, 100% all the time. Now, the first thing I want to do is we're going to talk about the scale that we're going to be using. Now, we're going to be using our A minor pentatonic scale, and particularly 2 boxes of it. We're going to be using box 5, which goes like this, and box 4. Don't worry, I'll break them all down for you. Box 5 would look like this. You're going to go 3 to 5 on the low E, 3 to 5 on the A, 2 to 5 on the D, 2 to 5 on the G, 3 to 5 on the B, and 3 to 5 on the high E. Now, before you ever, you know, dive into writing stuff, make sure you can sit there and play that scale, front to back, side to side. You know, lots of different ways to kind of play through that, and get to where you're very comfortable with it. You know. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to box number 4, which is really good riff mecha center. And it's going to go like this. It's open 3 on the low E, open 3 on the A. And I'm realizing I left my delay on, but we're just going to roll with it. Then it's going to go open 2 on the D and G, 1 to 3 on the B, and then open 3 on the high. So if there's one thing to really take away from this, is that it gave us a lot of open strings. You know, other than the B string, everything had an open string to it. So I mean, there's a lick, kind of very poison flavored. So there's your first part, is get the scales down. Work on those, and we're going to work on applying them. Next, now we need to figure out what kind of riff are we going for. Sometimes riffs are just going to happen, and they'll create themselves, and sometimes you need a little bit of a direction of, like, where do I want to go with this riff? What exactly am I looking for? So what I want to do is, I want, not so much kind of like a chordy riff, I want like a simple kind of like do-do, bow, do-do-do-do. There's our riff. So there's our riff that we're going to be working with, and let's break down where we're getting a lot of these notes from. So that's what we're kind of building. You know, wherever it would go. But So right from the get-go, it starts out in this box 5 position. So 3/5 on the low E. Then you go to 3 on the A. Okay. Now we go back to the low E string and you go 5/3 open. Then I'm going to go back to 3 on the low E. Then open A. And that's, to me, coming out of box 4. So the reason I know that these, notes are all going to work, they might not sound the best, but, I know that these notes are going to be strong notes is because I know they're all in key. They're out of my scale. This is why knowing the scale helps you play things much more confidently. So you can make one of those weaker sounding notes sound great just out of the sheer, dedication and, not dedication, but, the commitment to the note. So if I was to go like this, and then go, I'm like, that didn't my chord, but if I went, whatever it is, I know that note's not the best note, right there, but it doesn't sound bad. So we're building off of that idea a little bit. We know where the notes are coming from. We chose the key. We know we're out of the key of A minor. And I'm like, okay, this is great. We're building off of this now. And we have this, very kind of groovy riff, which is the next point. So let's talk about rock and roll groove, because that is a huge, huge, huge component of making this all work. Rock music has a lot of rhythm to it, a lot of swing, not always swing, but sometimes has swing. What I'm playing does. It's a very swung, a very swung kind of rhythm. And, I think that's, very crucial is to have, the rhythm aspect always in mind. Because if I just went like this, it doesn't even make me move when I'm playing it, but if I go, it makes me start moving to it, and I'm more connected to it, and it's because of that rhythm aspect to it. So if you're not familiar with swing, learn some of these old shuffles, just learn that kind of stuff, and that's going to help you out a ton with figuring out all the little mechanics that are inside of this stuff and really dissect what's happening in your riffs. Don't just learn riffs for the sake of learning them. Learn them and be like, okay, so what are they doing inside of that riff? And just kind of take parts, you're like, oh, I really like the way they bent that note. So maybe your riff is going to go, some kind of weird bend thing. Yeah. Whatever it could be. But yeah, just really pay attention to the rhythm, learn how to groove and swing, and just, sometimes space is what you need. It's all about the notes you don't play sometimes. So I think that's another really key ingredient. And the last thing we're going to do is talk about adding notes that aren't supposed to be there. So now we know our scale, so we know what notes to play. What about the notes that we're not supposed to play? Well, it's rock and roll, so we do what we want. We're going to play them babies. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go... Then we'll say the next section would go like this. That right there. Okay, so here's the next part of our song. I'm using a lot of chromatic notes. I'm going to go 5/4/3 on the A, 5/4/3 on the low. Then I do kind of like a 16th feel. I'm going open 2/3 and open 3/4. I'll be honest, I didn't pick those with knowledge behind them. I picked them because I used my ear, and I like the way that they rolled with it. There we go. So there you go. That's how you write a rock riff. Alrighty, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to Guitar Control. We are posting new stuff all the time. Get the tabs. And like I said before, let me know your 3 favorite rock riffs of all time. And I will be seeing you guys next time.